Wherever you're enjoying us from, kindly hit the like and subscribe button to enjoy more content like this. Today we are looking at the types of car transmissions.
We will reveal the purposes of car transmissions and why they're important for your driving experience. The purpose of a transmission is to transmit and change the amount of motor torque. Simply, it's what allows your car's engine power to be transferred efficiently to the wheels. Whether you're accelerating from a stop or cruising down the highway, the transmission ensures that the right amount of power reaches the wheels to move the vehicle forward as effectively as possible. Transmissions also change the flow of the gearbox output shaft. By selecting different gear ratios, the transmission can adjust the speed of the wheels relative to the engine speed. And whether you're going forward or reversing, the transmission makes sure that the wheels spin in the right direction to move the vehicle. Last but not least, transmissions allow the engine to idle with the vehicle stationary. When you're stopped at a red light or parked, the transmission disengages the engine from the wheels, allowing the engine to run smoothly without moving the vehicle. Let us know in the comments if we missed anything.
You probably know how to drive an automatic, don't you? Automatic transmissions are in the most of the new cars. But did you know how do they really work?
Automatic transmission was developed to overcome the power discontinuation problem in manual transmission, and it uses a planetary gear set arrangement rather than a simple gear pair. You can see that a planetary gear set has 2 inputs and 1 output. Just vary these 2 input speeds and you will get different output speeds. In simple words, the carrier of the second set and the ring gear of the first set are a single unit. 2 clutch packs are introduced to arrest the motion of the ring gears. When the clutch pack is pressed, the corresponding ring gear will be stationary and carrier will rotate. When the first clutch is pressed, the green ring gear is stationary and we will get the first gear. If we can turn the green ring gear, the output speed will increase. To achieve this, you must release the first clutch and engage the second clutch. It is worth noting that the first clutch is being released at the same time that the second clutch is engaged, so there is no loss in power transmission. By using 3 planetary gear sets in series, we will be able to achieve 6 different speeds and a reverse.
How does a CVT transmission work?
If we look at how this transmission works from a side view, you will be reminded of a bicycle driven by chain and sprocket, but with the twist of having a variable system. There are 2 pinions and crowns that, with the aid of a metal chain, have the ability of growing in diameter on one side while the other gets smaller. That mechanism allows for an almost infinite number of variations. A CVT transmission is like a transmission with an infinite number of gears. When one side grows or gets closer, the chain gives and the other side gets smaller, and that allows for the different gearing ratios as we can see here. So I can go from maximum torque to maximum horsepower. It is not something I choose though. It is chosen by the computer that is permanently analyzing what I am asking of the car. The end result is a system that allows the flexibility to the car to have better performance and better fuel economy depending
IMT
on the situation.
work.
The IMT is a clutchless manual transmission. It's just a regular manual gearbox, but without a clutch pedal. In situations like coming down a slope or overtaking, you have full control over the gearbox, and this is of course without the headache of operating the clutch pedal. You don't need to lift off the accelerator when shifting gears. The benefits of this transmission is that in this way you have a complete control over what gear your car is in, and you don't have to rely on the software getting it right. The main drawbacks of an IMT is that the gear shifts aren't as smooth, as the system relies on a single clutch that has to be modulated by an actuator.
Do you know how does an IMT transmission, how does a DCT transmission work?
These gearboxes can generally operate in a fully automatic mode or manually shifted with paddles on the steering wheel. Semi-automatic and dual clutch transmissions offer cutting-edge performance with lightning-fast gear changes that a pure manual just can't match. These gearboxes are mainly found on race cars, and they are quite expensive. This disadvantage is magnified by their extreme complexity, which leads to more frequent and costly repairs.
Did you know exactly how does a DCT transmission work? Me neither, so let's look at it.
Dual clutch transmissions contain the traditional elements of a manual and are driven by a twin or dual clutch module. The manual elements include helical gears on parallel shafts to create different gear ratios, synchronizer systems to ease gear engagement, and an actuated shift fork system to select the appropriate gear ratio. The clutch module can either be dry, like a conventional manual, or of a multi-plate wet clutch variety. Although a traditional manual transmission uses a singular input shaft, the gears in a dual-clutch transmission are driven by one of two input shafts. Typically, the odd-numbered gears are driven by one shaft and even by the other. Hydraulic fluid pressure is used to actuate the respective clutches as needed. When the driver puts the gear selector in drive, the appropriate shift forces will cause the engagement of first gear. When the driver presses the accelerator pedal, the outer clutch will be engaged to launch the vehicle from rest, driving power through first gear. Much like a manual transmission, the DCT uses synchronizers, which are friction devices that match the input shaft speed with the selected gear speed during a change.